Hello, we are here with A+ College Ready for AP Computer Science A PD, and today we're going to make a video to talk a little bit about Repl.it. What is Repl.it? Repl.it is an online IDE for creating and running programs. It supports multiple languages, including the two that we will be using in this course, and those are Python, Turtle, and Java. The Python Turtle we will use in Unit 1 to kind of introduce us to a text-based language, and then we will use Java for the rest of the course. So what I'd like for you to do now is to open up Repl.it and log into your teacher account, and we will take a quick look at how Repl.it classrooms work, and we will also demo a short Python Turtle program. All right, so the first thing you should do is to open up REPL. Mine is already open here. I've already logged into it. You can look at the overview of it. There is a couple of buttons up here. The new REPL is where you would make a new REPL to start working on. But over here is the menu that I use the most. So over here we have Home, which is what you're looking at right now. That's this whole screen here. And then there's My REPL. So if I click on that, you'll get to see all of the REPLs that I have done. This past year was the first year that I've used REPL. And you can see I've got quite a few there. Yours may be empty at this point, but you'll quickly start filling up that screen with your REPLs once you start teaching. And actually in this PD, you'll start filling that up. The next thing that I use the most over here is the Teacher tab. And when I click on that, it's going to bring me to the screen called My Classrooms, and in here are all of the courses that I am registered as a teacher for. This course right here is the one that I've actually used to teach students. It was for this past school year, 2019-20. These two courses are courses that I use from Import Classroom. If you click on Import Classroom, there are some courses that are already there that you can just import and be a teacher in, or a student for that matter. But this is one that I imported, and I actually used some of the assignments in there in my course. I imported the assignments because they were already done and they're auto-graded, and so you could assign them to your students and they could do those and they would know whether or not they had gotten the problem right. So that was a useful course for me to use in my class. All right, so I'm going to go back to Teacher. And so that's going to be the screen where we just were. And so, as I said, this is the course that I used for my classroom. So I'm just going to show you what the classroom looks like. So when I click on there, it has a section for assignments, a section for projects, a student overview, and teachers. I was the only teacher in that class, so that's all that's there. Under assignments, this is where I told you that I imported assignments. It was all from that course that I showed you. These were already created, and I just imported those assignments here because I have not yet taken the time to figure out how to create my own self-graded assignments in REPL. But luckily, there are other people that have already done some of that work for you, and you can take advantage of that by importing assignments and using them in your course. I went back too far there. Okay, the next thing is the projects. This is the thing that I found the most useful. This is where I delivered the starter code that was provided within the course that you're going to be teaching from. So you can see it says starter code. I've published lots of those, and the advantage to publishing them in projects is, I wish I could click on this, but there's student names if I click on this, so I don't want to do that. But when you click on that and you can see all of your students and you can see the progress, you can click on the link to see what their code actually looks like. So that way you can monitor their progress, you can project it to the screen and talk about it with the class, or whatever you like to do. But this section I found to be the most useful in this classroom for using with my students. This is just your student overview. I had 12 students enrolled. I'm hopefully going to have about double that next year. But this is where your students are listed, and that just kind of shows you their overall progress. Okay, so that's the overview of what your classroom will look like once you've been using it for a while. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to click on Teacher again so you can see how to actually create your own classroom. So it's very simple. If you want to create a classroom, you just click on this little plus, and then you figure out what you want to name it. So maybe we'll have a classroom for this PD, so I'll name it A+ CR for A+ College Ready, and this is APCSA PD. So that will be the name of this classroom. You pick a language. You can, even after you've picked a language, you can use whatever language you want within the course, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Python with Turtle because that's what we'll start off with when we start the course. And then you just click on Create a Classroom. So once you create the classroom, you can see it looks like my classroom. It's just that there are no published assignments, no projects, and no students in it. If you want to put students in there, all you have to do is click on Invite More, and it gives you this link, which you can either copy and paste into some place where you have your student email saved, or you can enter all the student emails here. And then they just click on that link, and then they'll follow the directions and be in your course. All right, so that's how simple it is to create the classroom, and I promise it'll be very useful for you. Now, what you also have up here is a tab that says Student. So when you click on Student, what that does is these are courses in which I am enrolled as a student, not a teacher. So I'm just participating in these courses. The most important course I probably have here is this one, which is A+ College Ready APCSA Teachers Only. And the reason that's an important course to be a student in is because that is where all of the solution code for the assignments and for the projects in the whole curriculum is located. So this is all of the solution code. So you're going to want to make sure that you have access to that once you start teaching the course. Now you have to remember that it's under the student tab because you're going to be using mostly the teacher tab when you're working in your course. And so you have to remember that the solutions are going to be in the student tab in this course here with all the solution code. All right, so that's just a quick overview of AP Classroom. We'll talk about it some more as we go along, but that's just to kind of show you what it looks like and how I used it throughout the year. What I'd like to do next is to go and create a new REPL and do a sample Python program. So I'm going to click on My REPLs so that when you go to that screen, you have a new REPL button here. So I'm going to click on this new REPL button. And then you pick the language that you want to use. We're going to do Python with Turtle. Make sure it's Python with Turtle, not just plain old Python, because this is a drawing program. And so you can name it whatever you want. You can leave that kind of auto-generated kind of cool name that they have there. But I'm going to name it Python Turtle Demo. And then I'm going to click Create REPL. Okay, so it's that simple to just create a REPL. And when you have that, you can see on this screen, there's your title up here with your username. And this is where you're going to type the code. And this is where the drawing part will show up. And down here, if you have any errors, that will show up down here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to start off. You know, we use comments to document our code to kind of tell us what's going on. So for Python, a hashtag represents a comment. So the first thing we're going to need to do to use this Python Turtle is we need to import the turtle package. I'm going to write a comment to tell us what we're doing, import turtle package, and hopefully you're following along as we're doing this so that you can see how to do this. You can pause the video whenever you need to, so that you can catch up if I'm going a little too fast. And then you type import turtle. So not too difficult. So you're importing the turtle package. To import the turtle package, you type import turtle. All right, and then I'm going to leave a little white space there to make it easier to read. After you import turtle, the next thing you're going to do is to create a turtle object. Now, if you've done a little bit of Java before taking this PD, you should know about creating objects. So Python also supports the creation of objects. This is something that's imported with the turtle, so we can use this, we can create a turtle object. I'm going to name my turtle object T. Not very creative, I know, but easy to type. So you can name it whatever you want. You can name it Fred, you can name it, you know, Joe or Josephine or whatever you want to name it. I like to name it something that's easy to type later because we're going to use that to call the methods. All right, so I'm going to call my turtle T, and then you have to tell it it's a turtle. So it's a turtle object. So you're going to say turtle dot turtle, and then parentheses, because that you're calling on that turtle class there. So you have now created a turtle. You've named a turtle object. You've named it T. You could name it anything you want. So let's say, let me put that there. I am using T. You could use anything. You could name it whatever you want. Okay. All right, so now what should we do with our turtle? Well, probably making it move would be a good thing. So let's make the turtle move. Okay, so let me say very quickly that whenever you start any of your turtle projects, this is going to be, you're going to need to import the turtle package and you're going to need to create the turtle object. So these two things are going to be the things that you do for your Unit 1 project. That's the way you're going to start it off. All right, so then now we're going to make the turtle move. So we're going to use the T dot syntax. So that's, we're saying the turtle that I've called T dot, and the dot means, okay, I'm going to call a method now. And the method I'm going to call is I want it to go forward. And so I'm just going to type forward and then 50. Now, if you don't know that command, I'm going to show you in a minute the Python turtle documentation so that you'll have access to a library of the functions. So t.forward 50 would do what you expect it to do, which is to move forward 50. And then t.left will turn the turtle left 90 degrees. So I'm going to move forward, then I'm going to turn left, and then I'm going to move forward 100. So that should be twice as far as the first forward movement, hopefully. Okay, so that's just a very simple program. Let's look up here and we're going to run it. We'll talk about this invite tab at another time. So let's run this. And when we run it, then we get this, you can see this nice little movement. So notice that since it went this way first, that means it was, the turtle was, the default position was to face this way to the right. And then it moved 50, and then it turned left 90 degrees, and then it moved 100. So you can see that's twice as much as it moved here. Okay, so that's a very simple program. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to create a REPL and to just type a few things and have something happen. So where do you get all of these commands from? So this is the Python Turtle documentation, and it gives you an overview of the turtle and screen methods. So these are all the methods that you have available. If you want more specifics about any command, you can just click on the command and it will bring you to a part of the screen that has more specifics about how to use the command. So that's there, and that's just down below there. I will put this link in Canvas so that you will have access to it when you're working on the project that we're going to do. And then in the project, you're probably also going to want to use some colors. So I will also put a link to this page, which gives you the colors, and you can click on whatever color you like, and it'll tell you what name to type in the command when you're doing your code. Okay. All right. So that is a very quick demo of a Python turtle program, and a quick overview of ReplClassroom. So that will be it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.